Most conifers, trees belonging to the phylum Coniferata, won't even try to pronounce that. No, I will. Coniferophyta are evergreen. Anyway, let's try this again from the beginning. Most conifers, trees belonging to some phylum or category, are evergreen. That is, they keep their green leaves or needles year-round. However, not all conifers are evergreen. Large trees, for example, would be the relationship. For example, this tree loses their needles, or it could be large trees, however. No, we have the however here. So I don't think it's going to be the contrast. I think it's going to be an example. Here's an example of a tree that loses its needles every fall. And it is a conifer, I guess, but it's not evergreen. So, for instance, not nevertheless, not contrasting, not meanwhile, you're doing one thing, meanwhile the other. It's not an additive point. So let's read this again. That is, they keep their green leaves or needles year-round. However, not all conifer species are evergreen. Large trees, for example, I suspect they're an example of a conifer, lose their needles every fall. A conifer that's not evergreen. Yeah, for instance. Small flat structures called spatulae are found at the tips of the hairs on a spider's legs. These spatulae temporarily bond with the atoms of whatever they touch. Spiders are able to cling to and climb almost out. Thus, this is a consequence. As a result of these spatulae, if you think of a spider leg, it's probably got these spatulae that grab onto a wall. So, for instance, not an example, this last sentence. However, not contrasting, not a comparison, as a result. A young historian in the 1950s, such and such, began interviewing fellow Arab American immigrants about their experiences straddling two cultures. Over the next 2 decades, NAF conducted more than 450 such interviews, also known as oral histories. She collected photographs and other artifacts that represented her subjects' experiences. So, also known as oral histories. So, she conducted interviews and she collected photographs. So, this is an additive point. So, also, in addition, in other words, possibility. Are we restating this? She did this, in other words. No, these are not restating. That's not right. It's definitely not contrasting. I think it's additive. In addition, she collected photographs. And you wouldn't say today she collected past tense. That's definitely not right. Neuroscientist such and such wanted to determine whether individuals can understand and respond to questions during REM sleep. She first taught volunteers eye movements they would use to respond to basic math problems while asleep. A single left-right eye movement indicated the number 1. How the heck would she do that? She attached electrodes to the volunteers' faces to record their eye movements during sleep. So, as a result, or next, after she taught them how to say 1, she would attach. This could be essentially sequential. Specifically, she attached. Is this really an example? That's a possibility. Next, that's sequential, right? For instance, well, that's an example as well. So, by the way, if it were illustrative or examples, they both are illustrative transition words. So I don't think that's going to be correct. I'll eliminate the 2. They can't both be correct. In sum, well, that's not in sum. It's not in total. Next, okay? She taught the volunteers how to move their eyes. Next, she attached electrodes to record those eye movements. In June, female loggerhead sea turtles will swim back to the sandy beaches where they were born to lay eggs of their own. First, the turtles will dig her nest in the sand. She will lay, then, so first is going to be followed by a sequential then or next. she will lay up to 100 eggs. Finally, definitely sequential. So not by contrast, not similarly, next, not for example.